Hello, everybody. On today's possibly short or long podcast, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I'm recording the video and audio separately. And today I've got VeryRandomButterfly with me.
Hello.
And I woke up this morning, and it is now this night. It's now like more than 12 hours later. And I saw a news article about the restaurant chain Hooters closing because, and this is according to the article, those darn millennials just aren't into boobs anymore.
It could be that, it could be the food, it could be both, maybe? I don't know.
One of the comments that I saw, well, not just one, but more than one of the comments that I saw was talking about how bad the food was.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of others were flinging it back at the baby boomers, saying this was a misogynistic baby boomer idea that's finally getting the death that it deserves, or something like that. And all I really know about the Hooters restaurant chain was that when I first heard about it, I think I was in elementary school, and it just seemed like a joke that this couldn't really exist, this couldn't really be a thing. But then, like, many years later, when I was just out of like high school or so, the local anime group decided to stop at the Hooters in West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the quality of the food there, but just that they wanted to stop by there, and that it really didn't seem like it was much of anything.
I've never stepped foot in those places. I'm just like, okay, that's a place.
Yeah, it just didn't stand out to me. Like, if it was going to be a strip joint with that where they serve food, or a restaurant where the waitresses are like flirty with you or something, I don't really know what the appeal was. But apparently it wasn't the only one. The article mentioned something called that it belongs to a subset of restaurants called breastaurants. And one of the notes that I written down was like, have you ever been to that or similar? And you mentioned no, you haven't.
No. If I'm going to eat out, it's usually places that, I'd probably feel comfortable at. And plus, if I'm going to eat out, I'm not going to go to a place that is, quote unquote, has terrible food.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go to whatever's best or whatever I like, and yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, the places that I've been to bars and clubs before, and I've been taken there by like coworkers and just people who are into that nightlife kind of thing, the dancing and the drinks and all. And at those kinds of places, they serve food, but the only reason they serve food is to help people, like, if you want to drink, it helps the alcohol not all enter your bloodstream at once.
Yeah.
So the food is just kind of there as a barrier. It's not really there to be enjoyed.
That, and also another thing to sell you. Like,
Oh, yeah. Another item to get extra money out of you. Although, I imagine if they didn't have food on the menu, if they just served drinks, then people will go there with $20, whether that $20 is spent on food and drinks, or just the drinks.
yeah. Very true.
But yeah, there was another thing that I was gonna say that wasn't on the notes, but I forgot what it was. But on the notes, there was a news article when I was in high school, or thereabouts, about a cosplay cafe in my area, where it was started and owned and operated by 5 women, and they just had the idea to run a little cafe where they dress up in different costumes depending on what day of the week it was, and it seemed like all in good fun and stuff. I was little at the time, so I didn't know if there was any ulterior motive or anything, or even if it's still running these days. But I mean, it seemed like a fun enough idea. But like these days, when I think back to restaurants and establishments like that, I think that, like, where did the idea of having a restaurant, or like food and sexiness or flirtiness, when do people think to try doing those things together, to try sticking those things together, you know?
if I had to guess, around maybe the 60s or 70s, when stuff like that was starting to get more loose and whatnot.
All right.
If I had to pick a wild guess,
Yeah. I think if establishments like the article mentions another like there's Hooters and then there's another like rival called Twin Peaks. So if establishments like that want to survive today, if they want to do a restaurant with a risque appeal, without straight up being a strip joint, then I think they should be a restaurant for like anyone who wants to learn body confidence, flirting, and seduction, where they can work. So like, just a place like I could imagine running a place like that. Like nobody wants to work at a restaurant. This restaurant is a little bit more fun for adults. So like you can learn a little bit of flirting techniques or whatever while you work here, and then either move on to a better job or move up in the restaurant.
yeah.
But have like both male and female wait staff of all shapes and sizes. One of my friends had mentioned to me that earlier regarding this article was that they only hire you if you're of like Hooters and those kinds of restaurants. They only hire you if you're of a certain amount of attractiveness. So,
If I get that they're cool, but at the same time, you know.
yeah, like if someone wants to learn how to be sexy and they aren't traditionally considered sexy, then they're screwed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, I think anyone can be, and like if you want to be, then you should be sexy. And so in a restaurant like Hooters, like I'd say I'd call it Hooters 2.0. So if you wanted to apply at Hooters 2.0, then your attractiveness shouldn't be a factor. If you the factor should be if you want to be considered sexy and attractive and seductive. Because like there's a children's book by Roald Dahl called The Twits. And one of the first things they say in that book is that you could have like a wonky nose and your teeth pointing everywhere and like a glass eye or a cross-eyed or something like that, and your hair is just a mess. But if you have a good attitude, then you'll be considered beautiful by everyone that you meet. And I know this is something that is a primal truth, because when you're little, a lot of the grown-ups that you meet are going to be very, like, you don't know what looks attractive and what doesn't, so a lot of the people that you meet are going to look ugly by virtue of you not knowing them. So you're gonna take notice of all the ugly traits in their face and in their body, but the moment they set down a plate of cookies, a plate of fresh-baked cookies in front of you, they become the most beautiful person in the world. And all those ugly properties just seem to go away, and the pretty properties seem to shine through. So I think that's what a modern Hooters-style restaurant can do for the general populace. People getting, like, adults getting out of school, getting out of their house, and looking to start entering the dating scene. They want to learn some flirting and seduction techniques. That would be like a safe place to earn some money and learn those techniques and figure out what they want to do in life.
I would say to a fault, yeah. It depends on the person.
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of friends that I've met in the past couple of years that have come out as being asexual, or at least having a low libido, or not really wanting to settle down and raise kids or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, that job wouldn't be for them. Like, finding a more traditional workplace where they can just where they can focus, where they can where they can focus on earning a salary and establishing a stable workplace. That would be more their type of thing. I'm just thinking, like, in the context of Hooters and those style restaurants closing down, this is how they can survive, and more importantly, how they can appeal to people like me, maybe people like us. Like, if they had male wait staff, then they'd probably be more appealing to you, right?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, considering if they improved in other aspects too, like most importantly the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot in a qualified manner comment on their food because it's been such a long time since I've been to a Hooters, and also that was just like a corner booth in a mall. So not even a proper like restaurant style atmosphere or anything.
Yeah. I don't know. Me personally, I think I'd feel kind of odd or uncomfortable at a place like that in either scenario. I'd just be like, okay, I'm here.
Hi, my name is Chaz. I'm gonna be your server today.
Oh, there's the other restaurant around the corner. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I'm just here waiting for a friend. I don't think he's showing up. I better get out of here.
I just feel like I'm just.
I know that I wouldn't go there alone. I would have to go there with a friend. Otherwise, I'd be like,
They were really creepy.